Welcome to Module 13, probably my favorite module of the entire class, so buckle up. Again, want to remind you of that disclosure. I'm not a licensed attorney. I'm not even an interior designer, not an accountant, definitely not a financial advisor. Just here to share my experience with you guys, and I can't wait to do so. Okay, so we are going to start off with a little test for Mitch here.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. So, left picture is the one we're talking about. And my question for you is, if you had to guess where in the world this is, where do you think it is?
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. I'll make it a little easier to start. This left image is in the U.S.
It's in the U.S.?
It's in the U.S.
I was gonna guess.
What city do you think that is?
Oh, man.
And no pressure, but the last person I asked got it right.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I'm totally gonna blow it. Houston.
Okay. It's not Houston. I'll narrow it down to make it a little easier. It's
Okay.
about 5 hours from where we are right now.
Oh, is it Las Vegas?
It is. Okay, that might have been a little bit easy. I know he's going to Vegas next week, so I might have made that too easy for you. But look at the picture now. Does it look a little Vegas-y?
Yeah.
Looks like a Vegas hotel,
I can
right?
see it, yeah.
Yeah,
I can totally see
kind
that.
of. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one, no shortcuts. I mean, I don't think you get it right, but I'm going for, continent. Where do you think this is?
Well, just looking outside the windows, the architecture makes me think possibly Europe.
Yeah, this is totally Europe. Do you want to try again? More specific?
I'm going to guess London.
Oh, it's not London, but I can understand why you would do that. So, it is...
My second guess was going to be Paris.
It is Paris.
Ah,
You're dead on. Why did you
it.
think that, though? I have to ask you. And it might be hard to pick it apart, but why did you
just
think
the
Paris?
architecture.
Architecture
I lived
outside
in
the
Europe.
window or inside?
Outside.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of where my eyes went, though, because
Okay,
you
yeah,
tested me
I
here,
know.
so I'm
I'm pulling hard.
But,
Okay,
I
far
may have had
right.
an advantage. I lived in Europe for 2 years. So.
Oh, okay, there you go. Where did you live?
In Madrid,
In Madrid?
Spain.
Okay, well, you know that's not Madrid.
It's
So
not
that's
Madrid.
good.
I knew that.
That's
yeah.
good. Okay, far right. And I don't know the city. I only know the country on this one.
Philippines.
Bali.
Bali.
That's good. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
So my point in doing this exercise is you want your furnishings and decor of your unit to feel like where you are.
Yeah.
It needs to feel unique. It needs to feel like where you are. So if you're in Vegas, go with the sparkly, the swanky, the bright colors. Accentuate what's around you, because most often when people are traveling, whether it's their primary motive or not, they want to enjoy where they are. If you're traveling for business, but it feels like Paris when you're there, all the better. If you're traveling to discover Paris and feel what it's like to be in Paris, you want that to be in your food, in your housing, in your experiences, in the art you see, in what you do during your day, in your nightlife. You want the experience.
Yeah. Down to the lighting that's used in the place you're staying.
Down to the lighting. And don't let that freak you out. In the current market, you can make money and cash flow excellent returns in almost any market, from my experience using the air cash flow strategy. But it will get more technical, and the more you can put into your unit, the more it will bring back to you in terms of returns and the sustainability, the satisfaction of your guests.
That's a pretty universal thing. I think if you're making a vanilla product, you can charge for vanilla.
Yes.
Right? But if you're making Rocky Road, you can charge for Rocky Road, right?
You can. So I wanted to pull these up. Let's play the game. Just country or city. Let's play, okay, I'm only going to make you do the one on the right. The one on the right with the blue couch is not in the U.S., but it is in the Americas. Where would you guess it is?
The one on the right.
Yes, blue couch.
I go straight to the windows. I'm like, what's outside?
Not
Trees.
yeah.
Washington.
Washington. It's not. It's Mexico City. I was hoping you'd get it with all the colors.
It's in the Americas. I should have picked up on
I
that
know. That's okay. So
the floor probably would have given away.
the floor. That's what I was hoping would help. The floor and the bright colors.
Yep.
So the yellows, the blues. Where's your unit? So the one on the left is Texas country, which is interesting, but it also has a lot of architectural elements. And I want to tell you this because...
You mean like the Texas countryside?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I totally see that.
You can totally see it once I say it, right? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, duh. I want to talk about architectural elements, because if you just get on Airbnb interior design magazines, you're going to see exposed staircases. You're going to see these elements that you may not have in your unit that you just flipped. You might have more of like a cookie cutter box kind of thing, but you might not have huge windows that look out on trees. You might not have exposed brick, but you can do a lot with wallpaper, furnishings, things like that to create an environment, and I have examples of that as well. Now, I want you to check out these examples. Don't cringe too much, Mitch. I know this is not your cup of tea. So I've described this unit before. I actually know the woman that owns this unit. And I described it as retro Barbie, and I felt like that was pretty accurate.
Nailed it. Yeah.
But her market that she was going for is she was going for bachelorette parties. She wanted to have small bachelorette parties. It's a small house. It's a 1-bedroom house, which protects her from crazy huge bachelorette parties. She wanted females coming to town who are looking for an experience, and she wanted to be able to have photo shoots there. And this fit the bill. And she books fantastically with this layout. This is an experience. This is your experience generation. This is, if you watch Module 1, this is your $50 bottle of shampoo. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, and we talked about this earlier too. Mitch, I know that you would not be thrilled of spending money to create something like this. Yeah, it does. There you go.
Just kidding.
No, it makes sense. The thing is, though, is even if it's not your cup of tea, I actually was talking to an individual yesterday who said, hey, I want to do a rainbows and unicorns room. And in my head, I thought, ew. But there are people in their head that think, oh yeah, let's do it. And the thing is if it's temporary, if it's a novelty, you're willing to try things new. Think about a strange combination. So this, I don't know how long this will last. So by the time you're listening to this, if this isn't around, then it's blown over. Currently, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken in the U.S., is advertising donuts and fried chicken. And that's a novelty.
Like together
as a meal.
Like a sandwich?
As a sandwich or a meal. Huh. Like chicken and waffles, but chicken and donuts.
Donuts. Oh, wow.
So
that's a very American meal.
Yeah, it is. And you wouldn't make that in your own kitchen. No way.
No. Yeah.
But if you ended up somewhere close and somebody's like, hey, it's a new thing. Come on, we got to go try it. You would try it.
Yeah,
because
it's
definitely temporary. It's just the experience. You might stay somewhere, maybe not like this. I realize this isn't your market specifically, Mitch.
But I can see where there is a market for this. Absolutely.
You'd stay in a treehouse. You'd say, hey, let's just do it. It's vacation. I mean, it's an extra, $200 for our trip, but let's just do it. And you can capitalize on that behavior.
Yep.
So
I would own that property because I know there's a market for that. Right?
Yeah.
So
I also wanted to pull this one. The far right example isn't a great because that's additional rehab cost to floor to ceiling tile. That's expensive. But the other ones, like they just didn't. This has exposed, the picture on the left is the one I'm referring to. Far left, the ceiling, they just didn't drywall it in.
Exposed brick.
Exposed beams.
It's not expensive stuff.
Brick?
In the back?
Oh, yes. Yep, I see it against the wall now. That's not any more expensive. And some remodelers would drywall in the top.
Yeah.
It's cheaper not to.
Right.
So it's not necessarily as far as architectural elements, you can force some architectural elements and they actually cost less. So exposed HVAC, super in right now. Paint it black or leave it silver, super in. Obviously you have to do a good job gluing it or it'll look gross. But things like this is more of a cookie cutter home. Middle picture here, yes, the shape of the loft is unique. But if this is a square room, you could get the same with that birch cage lamp. Wallpaper is inexpensive. So without architectural elements, you can create this environment in cookie cutter houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really pulled it off with decor.
Okay, now this is my bad example. This is a thrift store decorated property. And the crazy part is it still cash flows. I still wouldn't suggest it. It still makes more than long term. It's a risk. I wouldn't suggest this because this property has had a lot of problems with these couches have already been replaced. This property has been operating. I know the guy that operates it. Less than 6 months, they've already replaced couches because these ones had tears in the backs of the seats. but they didn't know that before they got it in the house.
Do I know the guy that operates it?
You don't.
Okay, I was going to say that sounds like someone we both know.
It does, but it's not that person.
Okay.
For reference, this gentleman that furnished this unit is over 80.
Okay.
And for furnishing a unit by himself over 80, I think he did a hats off job.
Yeah.
But the market for this, the nightly rate just doesn't pay off. If he would have invested more up front to create a space that was cohesive, that was new, and this is the slide in which I'm actually gonna share your wife's horror story.
Okay, let's do it.
So Maylee, and I'm uncertain, I should probably follow up with Maylee, but she had the experience where they purchased, and I don't know if it was a friend of hers or her specifically, and maybe you can help clarify. They purchased very, very gently used, very nice, expensive designer quality furniture to put in an air cash flow property. And they left it in there for about 6 months, and then they sold the property. And when they went to sell, the whole house tested meth positive. And they scratched their head and said, "What? Why?" The furniture, unbeknownst to them, was contaminated with meth.
That must have been someone she knew.
Is that something she knew?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, perfect. You're like, that's not my wife.
Thank goodness.
She didn't do that. When they went to sell the property, the whole house, they had to go in and remediate the entire house because the furniture had recontaminated or contaminated
the
house. So I would be cautious of used. I'm not anti-used. I love the idea of reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah.
But do so sustainably and think of your business.
Yes.
I'm not saying necessarily you have to med test all furniture, but do your best.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is an example of furniture, and I'm going to flip back and forth. These units are in similar locations. They are similar in size. This unit was, yes, more expensive to furnish, not crazy significantly. Whoop, flipping back. Bad example, good example. That's a significant difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a significant price difference in your income. This wall here, I like to point out, that's wallpaper and it's a tape product. Shiny tape. Huh. They just put it up. It's
that's
removable,
cool.
100% removable.
So they painted it green and then put up the gold tape?
No, that's green wallpaper, stickable wallpaper. They make this wallpaper, it's removable.
Removable wallpaper,
it's like a giant sticky note.
Yep.
And you can put it in, take it out. Super nice. Yeah. It's easy to install. It's cheap to install if you don't want to do it yourself. And then that's a similar product, but a tape, and they taped an artistic wall. This is a very cookie cutter apartment that was made to look very luxury, and it does really well.
Yeah, they did a great job with that.
Yeah. Setting up a unit. This is what people always want to know. What will it cost? A little bit depends on where you are, what kind of house you're doing. If you're doing a ski mansion, you cannot put IKEA furniture in there. I'm telling you that now. Has to match the quality of your house. But just assuming we're all in the studio to 4-bedroom realm for right now, you can assume that it will cost you anywhere from $11 to $15 a square foot for everything. And that might sound expensive to you, that might sound cheap to you. And this is if you were kind of doing it yourself, putting it together yourself. If you were to get like a professional hotel designer to do it, you would be talking a bare minimum of $25 a square foot. And there are other educators out there that will tell you have to start at a minimum of $25 a square foot. I'm telling you that you can do it really well for cheaper, and I have tools that will help you do that. But that's a safe place. Back of the napkin math, $10 a square foot, and add in some extra. That's a great place to start if you're just trying to top of your head math. What do you put in it? And I have a list for you. You're going to love me for this because it's taken a lot of trial and error. How long does it take to set up a unit? So I'm actually having this experience right now. We as a company have set up services, and I'll talk about those as well. But I have an individual who I'm working with who wants to do their own unit, and I encourage you to because that's going to create an environment. It's going to be your style. It's going to be catered to you, and that's going to be beautiful. And people are going to love that. But sometimes it takes a long time. So it's already been a month. We do our setups about 2.5 weeks. It's already been a month. I'm anticipating it'll take like another 3 months to do. And this property specifically that she's furnishing will make them about $3,000 a month. So if it takes her 3 months to do, that's $9,000.
Yeah.
So if a professional is going to charge you less than that, if you can outsource it, if you can be wise with your time, and we all know how time is so important, Mitch just talked about that in the mindset class, then it might be more than the dollars and cents of it. You got to think about time. You got to think about your effort, your cost. I would say the average person furnishing their own unit takes about a month if they're like really focused on getting it done. Should I get a designer? Yes. Do you have to? No. If you do get a designer, you need somebody who will work with you. Somebody who understands the function of things. Somebody maybe who is familiar with hotel design. It will be expensive. I want to tell you that. I know when I say expensive, without saying like money saving or it'll make you money later, to my investors, they just cringe. So I have, assuming you're working on your first unit, I have a list of what you can put in your unit that will be great for you. And that's, I believe, on the next slide. Can I buy used? Just make sure it's worth it. Don't get anything contaminated with meth.
Yeah, I'd be much more vigilant about your purchases when you're buying used than if you're buying new. You've got a little more buyer security buying new than if you buy used.
Now, there are a couple examples, just to be devil's advocate on what Mitch just said, examples of things. Hard surfaces are less likely to absorb chemicals, smells, things like that from their previous location. So safer bet there. And you can potentially, if you had a huge TV stand, you can save time assembling furniture if you buy used. Because often used is already assembled, it's somewhere local, you can get a trailer, pick it up. Whereas if you're buying a massive flat pack, meaning like IKEA boxes, furniture that comes unassembled, flat pack unit, that's a huge TV stand that could realistically take like 4 hours to assemble.
Yeah.
So if you could save that, I mean, those are all things that you will need to make your own decisions about and think about.
And just for clarity, when you say hard surfaces, you're talking about something like a dresser versus something like a couch.
Yes. Couches used are really tough. Tough to buy, tough for it to be sustainable, tough to make a good purchase.
And a risk.
Yeah. Metal desk, go for it. Hose it off.
Yeah. Spray it down with some bleach, you're good.
Spray it down with bleach. A TV stand, hard surfaces being like wood, metal, things like that. Themed units, go for it. If you're brave enough to do a themed unit, and I don't say
That's
brave because
I love that.
It's fun. And you also have to think about, you're not living there. It's like retro Barbie. It's an experience while you're there. It's not permanent, and people will compensate accordingly for it. Yeah. That being said, if you guess your market, depending on what's around you. If you are in like downtown business financial district, you may not want to go crazy boho or crazy feminine. One thing that we like is female positive, male neutral. Meaning, Mitch, if you look at the place that Maylee booked and you say, yeah, it's fine. But if she looks at it and it's like, oh, but it's cute and it's fun and we're going to have fun there and look at the windows and the dishes, that is perfect.
Yeah.
Because that hits all the points as to females are most often book travel in any capacity.
Or buy houses.
Or
we use that same philosophy in fixing and flipping.
Perfect.
The kitchen is the number one priority.
Yep.
Right?
Or bathroom second.
Or bathrooms are second.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's because what we find is that women tend to make the decisions, you know?
Yeah.
So we and I love the way you put it, because that articulates a philosophy that we've been using just because of buying trends.
Yes.
But female positive, male neutral. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
That's great. You should. It's a good way to explain a very difficult concept.
Yeah.
Something you can tell your designer if you're using one, and she'll say, "Oh yeah, I get it," or he. I don't care.
Yeah. It's just knowing your audience.
Yes.
Right?
Colors, styles go more exciting than you think. That being said, keep betting white, because white betting is so much easier. Okay, here you go. Here's your gift, and it's a little blurry and hard to see, so you have to go to my website to get the actual links. So this is quite literally the list of supplies that we put in our units. Everything that I'm able to link for you, I did. Anything that's specific per unit, I just let you know. Anything that we choose from, really the decisions that we make that make each unit unique are very minimal. So if we choose different dining chairs, that's something that's unique per unit. TV stand, I've linked a list of them. So choose from that list. This is what we put in our units. Use as much or as little as possible. What you are looking for is hotel quality materials at an economic price. You're looking for something that will hold up to daily wash and wear, and you're looking for things that can be replaced in a unit of one. For example, white plates from Amazon come in a set of, the ones I'm speaking of specifically, I'm sure they have a lot of white plates, come in a set of 12. And that's great, but if one of those breaks and you need to replace it, you have to buy 12 more. So what we've linked is IKEA dishes, and if you have an IKEA available to you, that's great. If not, you might have to find your own solution. But IKEA has been carrying the same white plates for the last 11 years, and you can buy them at a cost of $1, and they're 89 cents.
Oh, wow.
They also don't break very easily because they're tempered glass, which helps prevent, the kids and, the natural wear and tear that happens.
89 cents.
89 cents.
Wow.
And they're great. They don't scratch. They're great.
Price hasn't changed since the 50s, huh?
I don't know if that's true or not. I do know they've carried them for 11 years. I did look that up for you. So this is our list. You can find it at home-havens.com. And if you go to the shop tab that's just in the navigation bar, it'll pull this up. Click all the links. I do make a small commission from some of these items on the list, and that just helps to pay for the website to continue being hosted. But this resource, as long as we're in business, will be available to you. The products change over time as we change our inventory as what's best, but you'll always get the most updated version of it on the website. Okay, here are the real secrets of the industry. These are the things the hotels don't want you to know. Black mugs. We put black mugs in all of our units because eventually, over years of wear, every other color of mug will eventually show coffee stains because coffee is poison. I don't drink coffee, so I'm biased, but I'm laughing because Mitch is like, yeah, right, whatever. It stains.
Delicious poison. No.
It is delicious poison. It stains.
It
so
does.
Black mugs, if you go to any hotel with a kitchenette, they have dark colored or black mugs.
That's smart. I mean, and I can see, now that you bring that up, I can see that that's true. I've had a set of mugs for maybe 2 years, and they're already starting to, they're already starting to turn brown a little bit.
And you wash them after every time you use them.
Yeah.
And they're clean.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're stained, which isn't clean in the mind of a guest, which is what you're appealing to. It's not right or wrong. Don't ever get mad at your guests. Just don't. You'll save yourself a lot of headache.
Customer's always right.
Customer's right.
Just fix it.
Plates. Replaceable in ones. We use white plates. We use the IKEA ones. They're 89 cents. They're linked on the website so you can get the exact right ones. Sheets. I talked about this in a previous module, but I do want to talk about colored sheets and towels. Colored sheets and towels. So there's a product called retinol, and it bleaches things. So as much as you say, oh, well, then I won't get sand or dirt or lipstick on my sheets or pillows or towels or whatever, makeup is the worst to get out. That's okay. Use sodium peroxide. It's linked in the cleaning module. You'll want to get on that as well. So if you use colored sheets or towels and they go and they get retinol on them, retinol is a very common product. Teens with acne use it, and almost every anti-aging cream and a lot of face ointments use it. So if any of your guests who stay at any of your units, any of the times that you have those sheets or towels, it gets it on your sheet, it will bleach the sheet to like this awful yellow color. And you cannot dye easily. You cannot dye back to the color once it's bleached. It's done. It's ruined. Throw it away or donate it. Please donate it. But if you have white, you can bleach it out. You can lift that stain and remove it because you're lifting. There's no dye underneath it. You can lift it off and it will be white again. So that's your biggest hack. If you think you're going to do it better, This is the one time where this has not worked. If you guys have seen the beautiful photography of southern Utah, you've seen red rock and orange sand. Orange sand is a very special individual so we use barely off-white sheets, kind of an eggshell color, in our units in that area because we cannot keep up with the sand. And on white, it's just so obvious and it's just barely hidden. And it's not that the sheets are dirty when they're putting them on the bed. It's that the guests are at the national park during the day. They enter the property. They have this silty, dusty sand that's red and it's impossible all over them, their clothes, their stuff. Too. Super fine. And its base is clay. So it's quite literally dye.
Yeah.
And it falls on things, and then they thought it was there before they arrived. They didn't think that they were dirty when they arrived. And so it just hides it a little bit better, the little eggshell color. So tailor to your market as you learn. This is an example. I say white always, all the time. But I've learned that in those specific units, eggshell off-white is better. But that's something you'll learn over time. Start with white. You'll never be wrong there.
Well, that makes sense. I've never owned any properties in a orange sand area.
Yes.
But it does make sense why the styles are different down there. Because anywhere else, Mountain West to West Coast, right now grays and urban colors, colder colors are very in. But in that area of the country, in northern Arizona, southern Utah, Nevada, it's still earth tones. And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because if you had whites and grays and stuff, the dust would basically turn all that stuff orange. So
it would.
No, that totally makes sense.
It would. And exteriors too. And this is a little, I guess, flip hack. You get those dust storms down there. If you have a white house, you have an orange house.
Yeah.
So go earth tones if you're flipping houses in that area. Okay, trash cans. Why does any manufacturer create white trash cans? We know what goes in trash cans, and it's not white. And even if it's perfectly clean, you don't want to know what color anything was that went in a trash can. Black trash cans, please. Hide stuff, even if it's clean. If the guest accidentally spills something on it, and it was their fault, and it's their stay, black trash cans. Such a frustration of mine. I'll get off my soapbox. Buy black trash cans. Living room rugs. Now, designers out there might cringe, but it's a functionality thing. So, when you have between 3 and 5 hours between check out and in to clean a place, if somebody poured an entire pot of coffee or Kool-Aid on your living room floor, you should have a carpet there. You should have a rug over your carpet. So if you have a hardwood floor, great, put a rug down. If you have a carpet floor, great, put a rug down. Because it is easier to rip that rug out and go take it to get cleaned than it is to come in, have 3 hours left, realize that disaster has happened, get a carpet cleaner out there within 3 hours. It's just not going to happen. And your guests are going to check in with a stain on the floor. Yeah. And that's not okay.
Or worst case scenario, replace it. It's so much easier to replace a rug in 3 hours than it is carpet.
And it's cheaper. Yes. And if they have one stay without a rug, that is so much better than a stay with a massive stain. So, living room rugs over carpet, this is a little hack. Extra long staples and staple it down because it often, depending on how fluffy your carpet underneath is,
cause it to
curl and lump, and people don't like that. So just staple it down. You can rip it up easily if you need to. It's worth every penny, and it adds color, so that's good. Pillows that don't wear out. We have pillows linked on the list. We do 2 memory foam pillows and 2 fluffy pillows per bed to give the guests exactly what they want. Memory foam pillows are amazing. They don't wear out. They don't stink. We put pillow protectors on them, which is also linked. So if there is ever a stain, you rip that off, you wash that, you put it back on, not an issue. So these are my supply secrets. A lot of them are hotel based, but these are things you have to think about. We have design services. Surprise! home-havens.com. That's where you can find that supply list. If you want us to set up your unit, please reach out. Currently, we do full service supply, setup, management, anything within Utah for anyone. Outside of Utah, we are slowly growing, but doing so very sustainably so we can keep our relationship base and our standard of quality very high. So in order to furnish or to manage outside of Utah, we need to do so in 5-unit pockets. So if you're in Milwaukee and you have 5 units, or you can talk to your friends, anyone else interested in real estate investing, and get a team of 5 units, then we're able to manage and design for you there as well. But we give away a lot for free too on our website. All those products are always linked. We do make a small commission. Have to disclose that, but that is gold. I'm telling you, those are golden nuggets. A note on saving money. We are not rich enough to afford cheap things. And I stole that from a good friend of ours, and it is true, because replacing is time, it's money, it's waste. And if you can avoid it, do. So that thrift store unit filled with thrift store furniture and thrift store odor just might not be worth every penny that you saved.
Or that you thought you saved.
That you thought you saved.
Right.
And if it is, it's not sustainable. You can't scale with that. You might be right once.
Right.
And that's okay. I want to talk about our supply guarantee. We're the only ones in the industry as a management company that offer this, that I know of. If Home Havens designs and sets up your unit with our quality products that we know will last, you are eligible for the supply guarantee. We cover the cost and coordination, same-day replacement of lost or worn-out reusables. So if somebody takes your nice, perfect white sheets and pours coffee on them and we can't get it out, we replace it day of. And at no cost to you. If somebody walks out with your broom, this is a real story. Somebody took the broom, and it was so innocent. That's why I like to use this example, because guests are not your enemy, they're their friends, and they're just living their life on vacation. They rented an RV their last day before they got on their plane to go home. They stayed at our unit, and they took the broom from the unit out to clean their RV, because they're really good people and they clean things before they take them back. And they left our broom in the RV, which is fine, and it makes me laugh because they were doing everything right and they made a mistake, and we charged them $10 for the broom, and we were all good again. But accidents happen, things break, and replacing those things becomes a headache logistically. And so we take care of all of that for you. We cover the cost and replacement of all your disposables, all your toilet paper, paper towels, shampoo, everything you provide, coffee for your guests. You're welcome to reach out to us if you would like to take advantage of that, home-havens.com. And all of our contact details are also listed on the last slide. And that wraps up Module 13. We had lots of fun. We tested Mitch a little bit on his design, talked retro Barbie, and we will see you in Module 14.